and around to the left, where there was a corridor. I knew there was a room just a few doors down that had a broken window I could jump out of. My feet crunched against broken glass as I slid into the room and grabbed the door frame to stop my wet shoes from sliding. But before I could grab it, I landed on my ass. Fuck. I could feel the glass in my arm. I quickly stood and reached down for my bag, which was now on the floor. Shit. The strap. I clutched my ruined bag under my arm and bolted to the window, pulling back the tattered brown velvet drapes. With one foot on the frame, I could hear the cop heading toward me. But I didn't hesitate. I jumped and landed on the graffiti-covered concrete below. Pain shot up my legs and through my body at the landing, but I wouldn't let the pain stop me. I ran. I saw the neon sign up ahead, flashing, "Open, live nude girls." The girls would hide me at the landing strip. I barreled past Mr. Big, the club security, and straight to the back, where I saw Charlotte and Destiny. I pulled up to stop and looked over at Charlotte's startled face. She had on a short, pleated tartan skirt and tight white shirt. Her bra was bright pink with jewels that sparkled, and her tits were practically falling out of the top. The perfect outfit for getting generous tips. "Wow, girl, you just flew in here. What's happened?" Destiny wrapped her arm around my shoulder. She was the mother hen of the club and really looked after the girls here. I dropped my bag to the floor, flopped back onto the worn black leather two-seater, and tried to catch my breath. A bottle of water was thrust under my nose. My hands shook from the adrenaline as I took it and almost inhaled that water. My throat felt dry, but the cool water made me feel less shaky. I shook my head when Destiny prodded again as to why I ran in here. I wasn't going to tell her the truth. I thought someone was chasing me." That seemed logical enough. I worked at a seedy strip club, and there were always creepy stalkers who lingered around. I watched as that ticked over in her mind, and she gave me a slow nod. "Your bag is broken." She pointed to the now strapless bag, and I rolled up my sleeve to see the damage the glass did. "And you're bleeding. I'll get the first aid kit." Charlotte just watched me with a scowl on her face. Her makeup was thick, and her fake dark lashes made her blue eyes pop. She wasn't the nicest person to be around, but she put on a good show. I ignored her as I screwed the lid back on the empty water bottle. I laid my head back, drew in a deep breath, and held it before I exhaled. I did that 3 times before Destiny was back with a small first aid kit. "Oh, we don't have much in here." I looked down and noticed it was mostly stocked with tampons. I raised my arm up to see how bad it was and noticed that the blood was still trickling out. Crap, that was a pretty deep gash. "I'll go clean it up in the bathroom." "Thanks." I grabbed the first aid kit and locked myself in the small bathroom. There was a shower, sink, and toilet in here. It was always clean. That was one of the things I loved about working here. Not only could I work all night and not have to worry about where I was sleeping, but I could shower and wash up and be ready for school the next morning. Well, I guess that was now all going to change. I ran my arm under the water and took another look. It would heal fast. Nothing too bad. I found a small bandage and wrapped it around my arm. It would soak up the blood, and hopefully it would be better by the time I went on stage in a few hours. I assessed the damage to my hoodie. It wasn't too bad. They had a sewing kit here, so I could patch it up at least. I changed out of the hoodie and tee and put on a black fitted tank top. My jeans didn't look so bad. Since I wore black, you couldn't see all the stains or blood. They probably saved my ass from the glass on that floor. I quickly touched up my makeup, giving myself a smoky eye look, when a loud bang shook the door. "Fuck, Charlotte. Give me a minute." I quickly finished as the banging started again. I unlocked the door, and it flew into me. I didn't get a chance to think as a thick hand wrapped around my wrist. I looked down at the